What's up YouTube? Welcome to my Vietnam vlog. First we're headed to the airport and we stayed at the Capital One Lounge where breakfast there slapped, plus there was free alcohol. Now we're on the plane and this was my first international flight, so I didn't know the pain that I was finna endure, but my mom handed me a tab of acid to help with the plane ride. The plane food to Japan was pretty shite. It kinda just tasted like frozen food, but it was nice rewatching Inside Out too. That brownie though, that shit slapped. Yummy yummy yum. The buffet at the Japanese Priority Pass Lounge was fire as fuck though. The karaage and rice be hidden for real. Here's a little tour of the Airbnb in Saigon. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath with a pretty decent sized kitchen and living room. The balcony was nice too, as you got to see the city pretty well. Day went over. Got to our Airbnb and just chilling now. About to go to bed. Ooh, here we go. The day started out with a pho spot and it was pretty shite. Probably the worst pho I've ever had. The ingredients were pretty shit and the broth wasn't that great either. F tier. I tried pho again and pretty much felt the same. Pho in America is definitely better. Of course, we got jia after and it was pretty good. A nice A tier to balance things out. My sister loves sugarcane drinks and it turns out they actually make it fresh right in front of you, which is pretty cool. Personally, I like sugarcane drinks better in America, probably because I'm fat ass and like it sweeter rather than fresher. But hey, B tier is B tier. One crazy quality of life in Vietnam is that stoplights have a timer on it indicating how long a light has left, which is so helpful. We went to visit one of my mom's relatives and I got to try some Vietnamese fruits, one of which I got to try was a custard apple. When you peel it, it feels doughy. It was not bad, but I think it would be pretty good cold. Then we headed to a family-style restaurant where the scenery was really nice. One thing I learned here was that they lay out random food or items on the table that you didn't order, which are not free, to I guess entice you into buying it. W hustle. Next up I tried fish liver and let me tell you, this was straight ass. Next day we went to a Michelin guided restaurant where they specialize in hủ tiếu. I ended up getting a stir-fry hủ tiếu, but my mom got the regular one, and mother of God, that shit was S tier. We did a bit of shopping that day, but you bet your ass we went to a Pop Mart. Unfortunately, there weren't any more Labubus, but I ended up buying an Alien Mystery Box from Toy Story. I actually ended up getting the one with space jizz on it, so that's nice. I don't know what this dish is called, but it made me sit on the toilet for an hour, so fuck me. I legit almost pooped myself on the streets. But anyways, here's a fit check. We stopped at a banh mi spot and this place was poppin' with Grab drivers. They are so busy that they only have one type of banh mi, which was a combination. I can see why though, because the banh mi was loaded with stuff and was really good and unique. Back to back S tier up in this bitch. We went on a tour guide where at this Buddhist temple there's a big ass Buddha. Apparently he's nicknamed Future Buddha because at the top of his head is a Wi-Fi source. Continuing to walk, we find a sleeping Buddha where he's just sleeping. That's me for real. We went on a boat ride after and for some reason they ended up showing us some bees. Here are some mini houses which are used for fishing. Then we hit up a sweatshop where they're making different types of candies. But let me tell you, they be motherfucking zooming. Our tour group got lit as fuck because they gave us a shot of snake wine. Apparently, it's good for men's health.
We say,
I can vouch that works because I had a chubby for the rest of the day.
Stop it. Get some help.
Another one.
We ended off with a family style meal, which I think family style with randos in a tour group is freaky as fuck. The spring roll that they had was barely dipped in water and was hard as rock. Overall, this restaurant was 100% created by the tour company and is the worst Vietnamese food I've ever had in my life. F tier dipped in F tier. Fucking garbaggio.
Guys, I am so fucking dead. The AC got cut off in our van back home. So it was just 2 hours of there being no AC. I got a fucking heat stroke. It was terrible. Kill me. Kill me.
The shite food and heat stroke inducing car ride put me out because I ended up throwing up 5 times and having a fever for the remaining days in Saigon. G motherfucking G. I ended up surviving the fever, but threw up again on the ride to Laiki. But we're here visiting my mom's auntie. I experienced a wet bathroom for the first time where everything in the bathroom was meant to get wet, and this is because there's no shower enclosure. It was really interesting, but I can't say I'm a fan because I didn't like sitting on a wet toilet. Then we went to get some potatoes and corn in the morning, and let me tell you, corn is way better in Vietnam because it's more plump. I rode on a motorbike for the first time and it's actually pretty fun. It's very cooling and kind of thrilling, and not just from the fact that the roads are wild as shit. Anyways, we went and checked out all the beaches here for a bit, and they're okay. It's the countryside, so it's not too well maintained. Vietnam has a lot of people trying to sell you something, and my mom bought one side dish from someone, and then all of a sudden, all the hustlers came out to try to sell their products there. She kept on telling them no, but eventually she conceded and bought all their products.
Oh shit, here we go again.
We back once again with a tour of where I stayed at. It was a nice small home. There was a lot of Jesus everywhere. According to my mom, most of the town is Catholic. There's even a church close by that has a loud bell indicating to everyone that it's time for church. Staying here has definitely made me understand more why my mom is so religious since she grew up here.
It's only 10,000 a day.
Pretty like the
How is it?
I like the texture of this one in Vietnam better. It's much more sticky.
Tricky dish yet,
Really sticky.
because the coconut is fresh and stuff.
We sat at a food cart nearby where they sell mi quang. The mi quang was fresh and flavorful. The duck was pretty dry though. Overall, a delicious A tier. There are a lot of stray dogs, so it's interesting because we just throw the bones on the ground and the doggos come just to eat the leftovers. The church bell was ringing, so of course, it's church time. I gotta say, the active participation in choir is much more lively here. We ended Lagi with a family-style dinner at this restaurant, which looks pretty nice. It was odd though because there was a lot of staff, so the service was really good, but there were not that many customers. My mom says that no one really comes here except for tourists because it's too expensive for locals. This is the sleeper bus which will take us to Nha Trang, but while waiting, apparently there are funeral traditions where your casket gets like an entourage and they blast music on the streets. Just know if I ever do something like that, you know I'm waking up the streets with some Taylor Swift. Anyways, this is the inside of the sleeper bus and it's actually really comfortable because, well, you can lay down. Alright, here begins my favorite city in Vietnam, Nha Trang. We started off with some delicious drinks at a cafe and then got clay pot rice with beef, well made and crispy rice, A tier.
Aw shit, hotel room tour. Got a nice bathroom. Already moved in. There's a shower here. And there's actually a window right here. So if you want to be a freak, you can do some crazy shit with this window.
What do you mean by that?
Crazy. Rainfall shower. Got 2 beds. It is so nice sleeping again on a good mattress. Slept for 9 hours. Pretty decent view. You can sort of see the beach from here. You got the fucking over here, blocking my view.
This is bengang, which is similar to benkot, but is different in the recipe and cooking method. To me, it kind of just tastes like a healthy benkot, so not my favorite, C tier. But the bengang gul was S tier. It was so good and had such a flavorful broth. Super yummers. I even ordered another one for myself. Don't judge.
Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
I was interested in getting a perm done here because I knew it would be a lot cheaper. Turns out it was only $20 for a perm. My mom and sister were getting their hair done, so my stepdad and I went to get American food at a bar. Honestly, American food is done really well in Vietnam. A well done A tier, honestly. This is supposed to be buncha, but I don't know, it kind of looked wrong because it was soupy and tasted medicine-y and was awful. Sorry about F tier. But it's okay, we got some more dessert drinks and this taro drink was absolutely superb. Another A tier dessert added to the mix. My VinFast driver, which is essentially Uber here but with electric cars, was base as fuck with his music selection. We got onto a gondola lift to visit Vin Wonders, which is essentially the Disneyland here. The lift was pretty because the lift is going from island to island. There isn't too many activities to do here. I feel like it was more of a scenic attraction than anything else. It was very beautiful though, and definitely you could tell it took a lot of work to build. I got cold ice cream to start with, but honestly the food here is not that great. I suppose that's to be expected from amusement park food, but I mean it was free, so I guess that's okay. Then all of a sudden, we found a fucking Pop Mart here. Sorry, I have to put in the Pop Mart anime edit. This Pop Mart is really cool because they just have a bunch of shipping containers which are decorated for photo opportunities. I think because this Pop Mart was on an amusement park, they actually had Labubus available. They were sitting Labubus though, to be fair. But oh man, the gondola ride back home at night is so beautiful. The hotel we were staying at has a free buffet and it's actually pretty decent. I mean, the food was B tier at the minimum. I don't know why, but we got pizza and once again, it's actually pretty decent. I mean, ooh wee, look at that undercarriage.
One bite, everybody knows the rules.
French fries in Vietnam are also pretty good. They try to mimic McDonald's fries, but they just lack that salt. We visited this cathedral, but they were closed, so we just had to look around it. Apparently, you can pay for a name here and have people eternally pray for you. This seafood fried rice looks as good as it tastes. It was flavorful and just perfection in a pineapple. S tier.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
In this clip, we have the guy in yellow trying to get his phone back from this crazy woman who claimed that his phone was hers after she found the phone next to him, claiming finders keepers. After the tea, we went to a jazz spot where it's actually a sit-down jazz spot where the jazz is served in a bowl. It was really well done all around. A tier. Yep, that's right, another hotel tour, but this one is pretty simple. It's just a single room with a 2-bed and a bathroom. Now that was really beautiful and was interesting because the architecture looked European. It's also a mountain town, so it's actually kind of cool here, sitting at a nice 70, whereas in Saigon, it's like 90 plus. We went to an Italian spot and these fries hit. The sauce in the middle was peak A tier. Same with this garlic bread. Unfortunately, this black pasta seafood dish tasted funky and I'm gonna have to put that in C tier. Then we walked over to a night market, and this night market is definitely the best one so far. It wasn't disgustingly busy and had a lot of unique items that I didn't see in other night markets. There's also this soy stand and it was extremely delicious. The toppings were a nice cherry on top. I think I'm gonna miss this place the most. As for soy.
Nice.
Speaking of soy, I got soy milk, but I didn't quite like it. Excuse my diabetes looking ass, but I didn't think it was sweet enough.
Okay.
One thing that I really like about Dalat is that it's a walkable city, so we just walked over to this lake, and then this old man came up to us and asked if we wanted to tour the city for like 20 bucks, so we said fuck it. So we started off with this banh mi chow place, and yeah, it's the combination of flavors with the banh mi just slap. S tier.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9.
Afterwards, the guy drove us to the botanical gardens, but we didn't go inside because my family didn't want to go in, but it looked really pretty. Then we went to this place called Puppy Farm, and the name isn't what you think it is. It's just a bad name. And finally, I saw capybaras IRL. They're so cute and chill. There's a clip of my sister trying to feed this capybara, but he was locked the fuck in. And then here we are at the main event. It's just a bunch of big and small doggos. My family loved this dog here because it's the white version of their dog. They also have other animals here. We got some goats, llamas, a donkey just taking a shit here. Don't mind him. And then we have a crazy random advertisement for meat. Not gonna lie, I think camels are so interesting, they just don't look real. Their humps look mythical. We did go on this air slide, but I was too scared to record my POV. L cameraman. In Vietnam, there are so many of these lapupus. Surely they're not trying to actually mimic the lapupus, right?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
After Puppy Farm, we went to this place making weasel coffee, where apparently they have weasels that eat the coffee beans and then it ferments inside their body. So then they poop it out and then it's cleaned to make weasel coffee. One thing that I noticed is that a lot of times the food is made right in front of you in Vietnam. In this case, the matcha was whisked and everything right in front of us. Apparently, there are long avocados. Wild. This is a clip of my mom finally getting to eat her durian during this trip. I'm not a fan personally and kept my distance while she was eating. Our last meal is this Ben Bale spot in the back of an alleyway, and wow, this was spectacular. I think the toppings were really unique and it was just well made. S tier. The food in Dalat was truly special. We're back in Saigon to finish our trip, and we got a hotel room tour. We got another wet bath, but it's a modern one. This room was really small, so not much to see or do in here, so there it is. Of course, I had to check out McDonald's in Vietnam, because apparently every country has menu differences. You know what they call a quarter pounder in Vietnam? A McRoyale cheeseburger. There's also a lot more drinks and matcha products. They even have a sink out in the open, which is nice.
Chicken jockey!
There was fried chicken on the menu and it was pretty good. I'd say equivalent to KFC. I'm really surprised it's not sold in America because I think it'd do well. Then I got a quarter pounder here and it tasted the same. But the star of the show was this matcha Oreo McFlurry. It was so good and the matcha was really matcha-y for a whopping S tier. There was a Japanese festival, so we went in to check it out, except turns out it was like 60% Vietnamese stands and 40% actual Japanese stands. It was interesting hearing Japanese in Vietnam though. There's these things that look like fruit, but they're actually a sweet pastry. We didn't stay here too long because we wanted to go check out the red light district of Vietnam. It was a super busy street and you have people coming up to you to get you to go into the restaurant, but it was really nice and it kind of reminded me of Vegas. We went to this cafe where the booths are in the ponds with koi fish.
They go crazy. Oh my god, they go crazy.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot. Open your mouth.
Huh? Huh?
We went to the mall to complete our shopping for the trip before heading back. I noticed that in Vietnam, they bring out the food as soon as it's ready, so that means that people are usually finished eating before some people have even gotten their food, but at least the food will always be hot. And then I got kimchi steak fried rice, which was absolutely tasty, a great A tier. And finally, our last meal was bún bò Huế. What a great meal to end off the trip. It was really well made, but I was surprised to see there wasn't any pig's blood in it. Overall though, a really nice A tier. So now we're headed to the airport. There weren't any cars around, which was kind of interesting to see. Overall, I thought it was a fun trip. The food was really good for the most part, but it was really polar. It was either A tier or F tier. I probably wouldn't go anytime soon. The quality of life was a bit too rough for me and my body was dying after the trip. I ended up getting another fever again when I got back. I'll give Vietnam a nice B tier experience. Hope you guys enjoyed the vlog and I'll see you next time.